vector. For the first vector, it will be 50 degrees to the north of east, and draw a line in it. And then, as we are going south of east, for the second vector, we are going to measure 62 degrees south of east. And for the third vector, as we are going back to north of east, we are going to measure 70 degrees north of east. And the resultant vector of it will be from the origin to the last point of the last vector.
Now let's do the analytical method.
Well, for the analytical method, we have our two vectors and we identify x and y. We know that for x is cosine and for y is sine. So we analyze and we have the directions northeast, southeast, and northeast again. So we have this, and for example, this one that is southeast, we have to do a negative sine of 62 because y is negative. Okay, so we add x and y, we have the results, and well, these are the answers. And to have our final vector, we need to do a square root of x to the square and y to the square. It's 295.77 centimeters, and then we need to find the angle and the direction. So we do negative tangent of y over x, and well, pass this to our calculator, and the final answer is 33.61 degrees. So our final answer is 295.77 centimeters, 33.61 degrees northeast, because x and y are positive, so they go to this way.
Here is our Minigolf. The first vector is 174 centimeters long and has an angle of 50 degrees. Then, the second one is 156 centimeters long and has an angle of 62 degrees to the south of east. The third one is 179 centimeters long and has an angle of 70 degrees, and the resultant vector is 318 centimeters long and has an angle of 32 degrees.
Here's the initial point. I will mark it with this rock. After we hit our first shot, we're gonna hit our second one. Here's the point where the bucket was, so I will put the ball here and take out the bucket. We're gonna hit the second shot. Let's go! Okay, so we're gonna hit our third shot. I move the bucket because we have here the rock as reference point. I put the ball. Finally, we're gonna try to make the hole in one from the starting point to the final hole.
So for the discussion and analysis, I'm going to explain you how different were the resultants from the analytical and graphical method, and what does this resultant vector represents. So in the graphical method, we all get almost the same resultants, but a little bit different. This was because we all use a different method to measure this, and in the analytical, we almost get all the same, except for Raul, that he gets a little bit different, but it was really close. So the resultant vector that we measured was the displacement from the initial point to the third hole that we do in the Minigolf, and this was a little bit different than what Andrik measured, but it was almost really close.
Finally, we were able to meet with the objectives of this practice, which were to construct a 3-shot Minigolf, also to measure a hole-in-one. This would be finally our resultant vector, which we also had thanks to our analytical and graphical method. We all had kind of the same answers, variations were to the decimal, ultimately giving us the same result for the resultant vector. Thank you.